Hi guys, welcome back to another one of my Resident Evil videos. So in today's video, I want to talk about my Resident Evil video where I respond to Under the Mail's criticism about Resident Evil 3, and I have the feeling that people who watched my video, I think they thought that I am some sort of anti-Under the May. It was video, I mean, I was defending the game, and they said, oh no, I believe that most of these likes are really from his fans. They were like, oh no, this guy is defending Resident Evil 3 the remake, I'm disappointed, I'm gonna give it a dislike. Okay, look in my title, can you see the title? It's responding, I'm not debunking anything. Do I really agree with that guy? Yeah, I agree. This game has a lot of technical problems, mechanical, in terms of shooting and whatever. But my main problem is not really with him criticizing the game itself. It's more about him. It's more about him when he makes those, I don't know how to say, those awful comparisons with the original games. I mean, he says some bad stuff about the Resident Evil 3 remake, like Jill being this badass woman, and I don't know how she reacts, and that she swears and that she acts like a bitch. But in the original game, that's how Jill is, more or less. Oh yeah, and also this, I think this a bit pissed me off, because he said that Resident Evil 3 Remake Jill looks like a man or something like that. She's like an androgynous male. Now it's fine if he just said, okay, they just changed the model, of course, but when he said androgynous male, he said it in a disrespectful manner. And I know I read one of his comments, and he said, oh no, I'm not the guy who makes videos to put games in a bad light. But that's exactly what you are doing with Resident Evil 2 Remake. So you point out some flaws, and then you're like saying you shouldn't buy this game because, well, it has those flaws. And just because you don't like a game, I mean, because it doesn't meet your expectation, doesn't really mean anything. You shouldn't make your opinion like standard of something. Oh yeah, and he also said that Nemesis, why wasn't he in Carlos' campaign or mini campaign? But if you think about it story-wise, Nemesis being there doesn't even make sense, because Carlos is not S.T.A.R.S. And if you didn't notice, they actually fixed that with the remake. So I don't really understand what's the problem with these people. What is your problem? And maybe you didn't realize, but the Resident Evil 3 remake is a lot more realistic and a more, I don't know how to say, emotional. If you played Resident Evil 2 the remake, you'll see that the ending is kinda, I don't know, it's kinda unrealistic. It's kinda so they all get out, but there isn't a conclusion or anything. But when you finish Resident Evil 3 the remake, you'll say something that it's actually the humans who are the bad guys, and she will destroy Umbrella. So there is a conclusion to that game. Also, Nikolai, when he shoots that possible infected guy in the original, Jill is like, oh, you shot him, okay. But in the remake, she's actually pissed, and she was like, how could you even do that? She says something to Nikolai. I don't know. Anyway, so I also heard people saying, but she's a feminist. Yeah, but that's also in the original game. They just made it more obvious in the remake. I also heard people complaining about Nemesis' lack of presence in the game, and that he's nerfed. But as I said in my 1 hour video, there is actually a reason why why Nemesis was nerfed, because in the original game, in Resident Evil 3, you are limited by the environment and what Nemesis can do. Sure, you can dodge, but Nemesis isn't able to, I don't know, jump over something or grab you from distance with his tentacle. And you just come here on my channel, commenting on my video, and you don't even give a fuck about what I'm saying, what I'm trying to show to the audience. You're just saying here and insult me, and then you insult me here, this guy here, and he also calls me a clown because I use a robotic voice, because 1 hour is really a long video for me to just use my voice. I'm gonna have a sore throat. Anyway, that's beside the point. And he comes here and tells me, oh no, I see you try to justify the lack of Nemesis in this game. No, I'm not trying to justify the lack. I'm just trying to explain why he couldn't be just like his original counterpart. And by saying Nikolai is the villain, what the fuck? When did I even say that that's the reason that Nikolai is the main villain? That's why Nemesis, like, what the hell, bro? And then this guy tells me that he paid like $60. Okay, but I assume since you got internet, you could have just watched a review or just watch Mayo's video and just don't play the game. So it's, in a way, it's kinda your fault because you have internet, you have everything at your disposal. So yeah, I don't know why you complain. When I try to buy a game, I usually inform myself about the game before buying it, because I have the means to my disposal to do so. So you really don't have a reason to complain about it. Just don't buy it. Inform yourself and just don't buy it. Done. Let's assume they did this in the remake. So let's assume that Nemesis was like his classic counterpart. Well, now there won't be any engine limitations, so think about it. We know that the Nemesis runs fast, so think about it. He would run something like this, and then you'll be with Jill, and there will be a lot of infected, and then he'll grab you with his tentacle and he'll beat the shit out of you. Because he's fast. The classic Nemesis is fast, and now put also his stupid resilience, the gameplay resilience, and you're gonna beat this game. Even on easy will be a pain in the ass, because as I said, this game also has some technical problems. And I always said that Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, even the original or in the remake, he won't work with the whole genre of Resident Evil, because Resident Evil 3 Nemesis is anything but a horror survival asset. He is a horror action, but he's heavy action. He's a heavy action asset, because in horror games, usually enemies, or bosses, you could count Nemesis as boss, they don't really move fast, they move a bit slow. Something like Mr. X, So in the remake, in Resident Evil 3, I'm not even surprised they actually made him a lot slower and shortened his his appearance. And why, and I think I will wonder about why he goes down so fast. I already said it. Think about it. If he just had that resilience and with so many infected around you, you'd be dead. You would be dead. I also heard someone complain, oh, he doesn't enter in the save room. Okay, I don't see how that's a complaint. Imagine a guy that runs super fast, he even outpaces you, and then he goes into your save room and then kills you. It will piss you off. It will piss you off like fuck. Only these nostalgic people were disappointed because they had expectations. They have high high expectations because they thought it would be just like the original when it isn't. Okay, sure, Resident Evil 3 Remake, as I said, has problems. I never said, oh, this game is so good. No, both games, Resident Evil 3, are inferior to their counterparts. So, of course, that Resident Evil 2 Remake was bound to be that way too. Also, what was I going to say? Yeah, maybe this game didn't have a good gameplay or whatever, but it improved the story a lot. For example, Taro got a bigger role. The way Jill reacts at the characters is also one. And now we all oh yeah, and someone said that, oh no, the game was clearly rushed. Okay, but if you noticed, Resident Evil, the original 3, was also released 1 year after Resident Evil 2. So that means that the developing team was already working at both games. And now I think people will say something like, but it was rushed, don't you see? A lot of content was cut. Yeah, a lot of content was cut, and I agree with that. But you have to wonder, why was the content cut? For example, if you watch, sorry, if you take a look at the puzzles in Resident Evil 3, the original, they don't kind of make sense. For example, in the lighthouse, where you have to call for help, there is that weird puzzle. I mean, why would you even have to solve a puzzle to call for help? You understand? Why? It doesn't really make sense. The whole purpose of the lighthouse, of the clock tower, not lighthouse, shit, was so you could solve that puzzle and call for help. Now here is, if you played Resident Evil 3 the remake, you see that the whole helicopter scene where they come to rescue Jill happens a lot early, and Nemesis already takes down the helicopter. So of course that then they won't allow us. I mean, they won't allow us to go into the clock tower anymore because it served its purpose with the narration. So when the content was cut, when a lot of content was cut, people should ask why, and that's because for the story. As I said, Resident Evil 3 the remake is a cinematic experience. Then I heard someone saying, oh, but people keep saying that it's realistic, but it really isn't. Also, if you did watch the scenes of Resident Evil 3 the remake, you'll see that when Nemesis is about to finish Jill, Carlos comes, and he puts down Nemesis with one single rocket launcher. Okay? So they already show you that Nemesis isn't quite really indestructible. And you know, guys, I hear many, even they are always complaining, oh, he goes down so easy. I don't know, okay, but okay, I can complain also something about Resident Evil 3 the original. For example, when you shoot at him, you know, nothing happens to him, but in a scene in the original where the train crashes, Carlos shoots at him, and his launcher is destroyed, and he destroys his launcher with the gun. And I'll be like, oh no, Carlos can destroy his launcher in the cutscene, so why can't I destroy in the game? Okay, this game fucking sucks. Okay, let me tell you that Resident Evil 3 Remake is a realistic game. You understand me? Of course, maybe it's not a full realistic game, but it's nonetheless a realistic game compared to the others, because when Jill gets hurt, you can actually see that she has several bruises in the game, in the cutscenes. So I don't really understand. So when I make this video, I want to clarify that I don't really disagree with what this guy under the mail said. I mean, maybe I disagree about him saying that Jill looks like a man, but his comparisons were awful because they are all trash. He says something about Jill in the remake, which is also present in the original. So it's not like I'm saying defending what he says. I'm only showing him that what he says in the remake of Resident Evil 3 is the same, more or less, even in the original game. And all of you who keep disliking my video should just check the description section, because at no point do I say, oh, Under the Mail is wrong. What he says is actually wrong. No, it isn't wrong. It's only that his comparisons are really low quality, because what Resident Evil 3 original did was also bad. You understand me? So don't I don't know how to say. Probably this will get a lot of dislikes too. But yeah, that's it. I mean, he trashes some Resident Evil 3 for doing the same mistakes that the original did, more or less. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. Until then, a happy day to everyone.